Helicopters are not for everyone, and if this is you, you should stay well clear of them. If you want to be incredibly wealthy, do not get into helicopters. The fact is, helicopter pilots do not make as much as we should or as much as I think our skills are worth. And for me, this was actually one of the biggest things I was thinking about before I chose to get into helicopters, and that's, am I actually going to make enough money to make this worth it? It is such a massive time commitment, financial commitment, and emotional commitment to learn how to fly helicopters, and our society revolves around money. You know, you need money to survive. So am I going to make enough money for this to become profitable and to make sense? And the answer is yes, you will make enough money to live and survive, but not as much as other career fields. Personally speaking, I want to be financially stable, financially comfortable, and I want to be wealthy. I want to be wealthy to help my family, to grow my family tree, but I also want to be outrageously generous with that money. I have this dream of every time I go through a drive-through, pay for the people behind me and the people behind them, or when I'm out at a restaurant, be able to pay for some families or some couples and just be able to do this for other people. So growing my wealth is something that I consider important. And the thing is, it's not as clear-cut as it is in fixed wing. Pilots get their ratings, build up their time, and they can go to the airlines, work as a first officer, and relatively quickly be upgraded to captain, and those captains make quite a bit of money. I've heard stories of captains making in the hundreds, 200s, and even 300s of thousands of dollars. And that's a crazy amount of money to make doing something that you love and enjoy. And I will link to a video right here that I made about how much I make as a helicopter pilot right now. And I am an instructor right now, building my hours. And as instructors, we're not compensated great, but we do make fine money. I also made a video about how much helicopter pilots can make and what the projected income is. And the truth is, it's just not as much as airline pilots. And even though the pay isn't as much as those airline pilots, helicopter pilots have so many other advantages that in my eyes make it more than equal and even better. And as I plan my future, it's so important to me that I get to be home as much as I can and come home to the same base every night, and helicopter pilots typically do that. There are going to be situations where you are working and you have to fly somewhere else and you don't get to come home, but most nights you will be returning to the same location and the same base, and that's invaluable to me. The next point is we get to fly incredibly cool and fun missions where our adrenaline is spiking and we're really put under the pressure. And depending on the field you get into within helicopters, those flights can be really rewarding. I mean, imagine helicopter EMS going out and saving someone, landing somewhere super cool, and then saving their life. That can be worth its weight in gold. The other thing about being a helicopter pilot is you actually get to fly. You are using your hands and your feet, and you are manipulating the controls. Unlike other fields in aviation, where sometimes you just sit back and let autopilot handle a large majority of the things, with helicopters in the applications that they are used for, a lot of times you have to sit there and actually manipulate the controls, use your skills and get out there, and that's so fun to me. I think it'd be fun to use the skills I have and fly and make the helicopter do what I want it to do and really become one with the helicopter and work with the machine. That's something that excites me. And finally, every flight that you're gonna do as a helicopter pilot is going to challenge you. It is going to be different. Unlike the airlines where you are flying typical routes that you may do multiple times over and nothing really changes that much, in a helicopter, your jobs that you may do on a day-to-day basis could be vastly different. Whether you get into like law enforcement and you're chasing criminals, or you get into helicopter EMS and you are landing on a highway or landing in the forest, or you get into flight instruction and you're teaching different students different maneuvers. Anything you do in a helicopter on a day-to-day basis, it's probably going to be different, and that's exciting. I don't necessarily want to do the same thing day in and day out. I could feel that would get old relatively quickly. And don't let me make it sound all doom and gloom. Helicopter pilots can make great money. You know, I also know people that make in excess of $100,000 or $150,000, and even beyond that $200,000 annual threshold mark. I truly don't believe helicopter pilots' compensation really matches the skills, but there is money out there to be made. And now that I'm actually established in the industry and I've been working around aviation for years, my fears have pretty much been entirely quenched. You know, I wish I had a video like this, but I didn't really know what I was getting into and if I was gonna make money on the backside. And if you are starting your aviation career, let me tell you, you will be financially fine, you will make plenty of money, and you're gonna be okay. Now let me ask you this, did you have these concerns before you got into helicopters? And if you are about to start flying helicopters, do you have any concerns about your financial well-being and if you'll be taken care of? If you do, leave them down in the comments below, and I'd love to start a conversation about this. If you guys like this video, tap that like button, subscribe for more helicopter content, and smash that little bell notification so you get notified every time I post a new video, and I will see you guys on the next one.